Within our huge yet tiny world, there is one question that boggles and toys about the mind of everyone old enough to ask the question, where did I come from? And from that question stems, I would argue, the biggest subject matter of our world today, religion. Everyone's got a way of explaining how we got here and why we exist. And you almost wouldn't think that because of this question, it would stem some of the biggest issues we have in our world today, but it honestly does. The purpose of what I'm saying isn't to seduce you into believing a certain, quote, religion, but just simply understanding how, specifically, the two biggest religions are treating one another and how Christianity should be treating Islam. Christianity and Islam have come to be at odds with one another and are extremely simple ways. There are extremely simple ways that we can change the hostility we have for one another. I know it's common knowledge to everyone that we have a lot of misunderstandings about what the other faiths believe. Like I stated before, there are a lot of stereotypes about both and a lot of myths that just aren't true, which is what I'm going to try and explain so we can better understand both of these faiths and why there's so much confliction between both of them. However, before I venture out any farther, I just want to explain exactly what these two religions focus on and give some figures so we can see on a wider scale just how big these problems can become. To define Islam, it is a monotheistic religion, meaning one God, articulated by the Quran and by the teachings and examples of Muhammad, who is considered to be the last prophet of God. Christianity can be defined as a monotheistic religion based on the Bible and the life and teachings of Jesus. Simple enough, right? To me, these definitions almost seem a little similar, so I want to point out a couple of big differences. Islam reads from the Quran, while Christianity reads from the Bible. And Islam focuses on the authority of Muhammad and the Quran, while Christianity focuses on Jesus. Muslims believe that Jesus is simply just a prophet and maybe even a good guy who did a lot of cool things. Christianity believes that Jesus is the Son of God and died for all men's sins. Just this foundational statement clarifies we cannot be worshiping the same God because our holy book and their holy book completely contradict each other. And within our belief, God cannot contradict himself. So here are a couple of figures just to show how many followers there are of these faiths. Islam has a population of 1.7 billion, while Christianity has a population of 1.9. Islam reaches 149 countries, while Christianity reaches 206. And Islam reaches 2,317 people groups, which a people group can be defined as an ethno-linguistic group that shares common self-identity, while Christianity reaches 4,082. For unreached people groups, there's 2,317, while Christianity has 1,251. Also, according to the Iraq-U.S. Embassy, just in America alone, there are estimates of the Muslim population varying from 2 million to 7 million. So what's the importance of these numbers and the growing beliefs of both of these religions? I know a lot of people with the bombings of late and the ISIS attacks, everyone's all like, what are we going to do? They're all coming to America. But really, that isn't even the case. The real truth is, there is a need for Americans to understand that not every person that is Muslim is a terrorist. And even more specifically, there is a need for Christians to learn how to properly treat those following the Quran and have a respect for their religion. If we have a misunderstanding of what they truly believe and all these hostile feelings towards one another, it's only going to grow into a much bigger problem than it already is. In just 30-some years, the number of people that believe in Christianity will equal the number of people that believe in the Quran. And the problem isn't that more people are converting to Islam and following the religion of Christianity. No, that's not why Christianity has a problem. The problem is that the followers of Christianity aren't following the basic ways of how to treat religions and need to learn how to love one another, specifically those faiths like Muslims, the way Christ would. There is, however, a way to change how Muslims view Christianity. But that would mean Christ followers, that we would have to learn to have compassion, love, respect, and treat Muslims like brothers and sisters, all while standing strong in what the Bible has to say and the truth within it. There is a need for Christians to learn how to treat other faiths so they can stop giving Christ such a bad name, just like the extreme terrorists are giving Islamic people a bad reputation, when honestly a lot of them are very hospitable, sweet, and friendly people. I want you to picture Jesus standing on a ledge and looking out amongst a whole bunch people. Like it says in Matthew 9:36, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless. Matthew 9:36. When he looked out into the crowds, he saw people of all different kinds of nationalities, colors, men and women, and it didn't matter to them where they came from. His heart broke with compassion because they were sheep without a shepherd. And that's the way we're supposed to be acting towards them, whether they're Muslim or Hindu. We need to learn to respect their religion and treat them the way Christ would. Now here's a statistic that I'm sure most of you have heard in the news or are at least aware of, according to the Capitol Hill Publishing. Just on March 29, 2016, a poll was taken showing that 50% of all American voters support a temporary ban on Muslims traveling to the U.S. Most of those voters are Republican, and just as a general fact, a lot of Christians have Republican views. Now, I'm unsure of how much of this 50% are Christians, but there is yet again a huge problem with this that deals with Christianity. Now, if this is something you support, I'm not saying that it's an awful view to have. There are many reasons to support the ban and not oppose the ban of Muslim immigration. That's not what I'm here to argue. However, if you are a Christian and you do believe that Jesus died for your sins, can you see where the issue is? The United States sent out 127,000 missionaries of the world's estimated 400,000 missionaries abroad in 2010, according to Todd Johnson, director of the Center of the Study of Global Christianity at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary in Massachusetts. We have the opportunity for a missions field to move to us, and we're going to vote for them to stay in a place of oppression because we don't feel safe? Now, I know I'm standing on some shaky ground right now, and there's the potential of a lot of aggressive comments to come my way, which is not what I'm trying to produce. I'm simply saying that Christians need to learn to step out of their comfort zones and start treating everyone like Christ would. Yes, Christians and Muslims have a lot of conflicting beliefs, and yes, a lot of Muslims have very harsh feelings towards Christians in the way they act, but honestly, they have a right to, because we're not even dedicated to doing what the Bible says half the time. So here's my call to action for not only Christians, but anyone willing to try on a different pair of shoes for a second. Try and understand how Muslims feel, learn what they truly believe, and try and place yourself in their position and think how they must feel, knowing that an entire country despises what they believe. Thank you for watching.